Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। हरे कृष्णा जय
Hare Krishna everyone.
हरे कृष्णा। तरुण कैसे हो?
बस ठीक है, आप लोग कैसे हैं?
बस देखो चल रहा है आराम से। Ajay is doing a Hare Krishna Kirtan this Saturday at his place.
अरे वाह,
That'll be nice.
nice.
शुरू करते हैं। तो कल हम लोग ना श्लोक 47 पढ़ रहे थे of अध्याय 6th, yeah, and we are in 4th skand, 4th canto, and जैसा कि हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं पिछले श्लोक में, Lord Brahma is basically praising Lord Shiva, yeah. So he is talking to Lord Shiva, and जैसा कि कल हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे, persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Yeah? तो ब्रह्मा जी लॉर्ड शिव जी को बता रहे हैं, essentially referring to like Prajapati Daksh, right? That there is no need for them to be killed again, and because they are already killed by providence. Yeah. So that's what Lord Brahmaji is saying. And
so what is the meaning of providence here?
By the nature, by the Krishna consciousness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically people who are giving distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words have already been killed from that fashion. So those Vaishnavas, don't need to be killed again by an exalted personality like Lord Shiva is what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
And like based on the nature, if you read this purport, it says that since their hearts are always filled with anxiety because they are jealous of others, right? It is understood that they have already been killed by such providence. Yeah. And thus Lord Shiva, as self-realized Vaishnava, was advised not to kill Prajapati Daksh. Yeah, so we'll start with Shlok 48. Hello, Sachin, Hare Krishna. I think it looks like Sachin is back from his vacation. So, Ajay?
Sure. Yes, yasmin yada pushkar nabh mayaya durantya sprashtidhya prishtigadrish kurvanti tatra hanukampaya kripa na sadho dev balatkritay kramam. My dear Lord, if in some place materialistic who are already bewildered by the insurmountable illusionary energy of Supreme Godhead sometimes commit offenses, a saintly person with compassion does not take this seriously. Knowing that they commit offense because they are overpowered by the illusory energy, he does not show his prowess to counteract them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. And such persons who are committing offenses, yeah, it doesn't need to be counteracted, is what Lord Brahma is saying. Essentially, Lord Brahma is trying to pray to Lord Shiva not to kill Prajapati Daksha. Yeah. So providence means in Hindi mein vidhata, like
Achha.
yeah. Tarun?
Bhavamsa tu pumsa paramasya mayaya durantaya sprastha mati samastadrak taya hatatmasva anukarma chetasya anugraham kartum iharharsi prabhu. My dear Lord, you are never bewildered by the formidable influence of the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you are omniscient and should be merciful and compassionate towards those who are bewildered by the same illusory energy and are very much attached to fruitive activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So who is saying this?
Lord Brahma.
Brahma to Lord Shiva, right?
Mhm.
And he's saying that you are omniscient and you should be merciful and compassionate toward those who are under the illusory energy, right? Who are under Maya, right? So basically, Prajapati Daksh has done all this under the influence of Maya, and Lord Brahma is requesting him to be compassionate towards him. Yeah. And actually, it's a nice purport. So let's read this, Sachin.
Hare Krishna, Raj. Hare Krishna, everybody. A Vaishnava is never bewildered by the influence of external energy because he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Lord states in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Daivi hai Isha Guna Mai Mama Maya Turatayaya Mama Eva Ye Prapadyante Mayam Itam Taranti Te. My divine energy consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. A Vaishnava should take care of those who are bewildered by this Maya instead of becoming angry with them, because without a Vaishnava's mercy, they have no way to get out of the clutches of Maya. Those who have been condemned by Maya are rescued by the mercy of devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So what it's saying is, and we all know this, three modes of material nature, yeah. Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. Yeah. It's very difficult to overcome those because we are so conditioned and attached to those. And then Lord Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita, yeah, Mayam itam taranti te, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross it. Yeah. So the only way to overcome the three modes of material nature is surrendering. And then also what he's saying is that a Vaishnava also should take care of the people who are still bewildered by the Maya instead of becoming angry with them. Yeah. So, because the Vaishnav's mercy only can get those people who are within this Maya to get out of the clutches of Maya, is what is being mentioned, and this is directly from the Bhagavad Gita shlok. Tarun? Tarun?
I think it's,
Yeah, it's stuck, is it? Yeah.
his connection is frozen.
Okay, Ajay, do you want to read? Tarun, are you back? Okay, Ajay. read.
Hello?
Yeah, you okay, Tarun?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not able to hear you. Do you want to read?
Yeah. Vansha kalpatarubhyasya cha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanembhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namaha. I offer my respective obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Those who are under the influence of the illusory energy are attracted to fruitive activities, but a Vaishnava preacher attracts their hearts to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so all the devotees who are attracting all the people like us who are conditioned, right? And we are, of course, we enjoy all these different activities. But a Vaishnava preacher, the devotee, attracts them to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And that's why it says, Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. As such, and we offer respectful obeisances to all such Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Is what is being mentioned here. Yeah. Ajay?
Kurvadva rasyo dharanam hatasya bho tvaya samaptasya mano prajapate na yatra bhagam tav bhagino tudah kuyajino yen makho niniyate. My dear Lord Shiva, you are a shareholder of a portion of the sacrifice and you are the giver of the result. The bad priest did not deliver your share and therefore you destroyed everything and the sacrifice remains unfinished. Now you can do the needful and take your rightful share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so basically Lord Brahma is asking Lord Shiva to reset everything so that the yajna can take place. Yeah. Sachin? Sachin?
Adhyaja mano ayam prapadyetaakshini bhagah rugoho shma shrunim rohantu ushno dantascha purvavat. My dear Lord, by your mercy, the performer of the sacrifice, King Daksha, may get back his life. Bhaga may get back his eyes, Bhrigu his mustache, and Pusa his teeth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so if you know, remember, when Veerbhadra, Lord Shiva's, when he put the hair on the earth and Veerbhadra got generated, he and Lord Shiva's army, when they destroyed the yajna, they also cut the head of King Daksh, yeah, and also took out the eyes of Rishi Bhag and mustache of Bhrigu Rishi Muni and Rishi Pusha, his teeth, yeah. So what Lord Brahma is requesting Lord Shiva is to get all that back, yeah, like King Daksh to get back his life, yeah. Hare Krishna, Rinaji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
You asked me to read?
Yeah.
Devanam Bhagnagatra Mritvijam Chayudhashmabhi Bhavananugrihita Grihita Namashu Manyo Astva Naturam. O Lord Shiva, may the demigods and the priests whose limbs have been broken by your soldiers recover from the injuries by your grace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So basically, Lord Brahma is asking Lord Shiva to revive everyone. Eshu te rudra bhavastu yadukshistoshadvarashyave yagyaste rudra bhagena kalpatamadya yagyahan. O destroyer of the sacrifice, please take your portion of the sacrifice and let the sacrifice be completed by your grace. Yeah. So basically, Mahayagya, Lord Brahma is requesting to be completed with Lord Shiva's blessings. Yeah. And again, a very nice purport, but we'll read this last para. Ajay?
Sure. The performance of yajna is a very difficult task because all the demigods must be invited to participate in the yajna. In this Kali Yuga, it is not possible to perform such costly sacrifices, nor is it possible to invite the demigods to participate. Therefore, in this age, it is recommended Yajna Sanskartana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedhasaha. Those who are intelligent should know that in this Kali Yuga, there is no possibility of performing the Vedic sacrifices. But unless one pleases the demigods, there will be no regulated seasonal activities or rainfall. Everything is controlled by the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is being mentioned is in this Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to perform such kind of yajna. Yeah. And we know that it's not easy. Do you remember the name of the yajna which Prajapati Daksh was doing?
Mm.
Do you remember?
Was it Ashwamedh? No.
Hmm?
Ashwamedh? No.
You know, that was the love and kush. That was the Ashwamedh when they win everything, then they perform the Ashwamedh yajna. Ashwa is the horse. Yeah. This is, remember, Brihaspati Savai. If you remember that yajna, right? The Brihaspati Savai. So first they did Vajpayee yajna, it's called Vajpayee, and then Brihaspati Savai, which is the Mahayajna. Not everyone can perform that. And when Prajapati Daksha decided to do this Brihaspati Savai Mahayajna, all the Devatas and all the Rishimunis and everything came to attend that yajna. Yeah. So I just to remember the name of that yajna. But in Kali Yuga, the point is it's not easy to do that kind of yajna. Yeah. So what is suggested is what is being mentioned here in this. Ajay?
Sure. So under the circumstances in this age, in order to keep the balance of social peace and prosperity, all intelligent men should execute the performance of Sankirtana Yajna by chanting the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One should invite people, chant Hare Krishna, and then distribute prasad. The yajna will satisfy all the demigods, and thus there will be peace and prosperity in the world. Another difficulty in performing the Vedic rituals is that if one fails to satisfy even one demigod out of many hundreds of thousands of demigods, just as Daksh failed to satisfy Lord Shiva, there will be a disaster. But in this age, the performance of sacrifice has been simplified. One can chant Hare Krishna, and then pleasing Krishna, one can satisfy all the demigods or automatically. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So I think a very important paragraph for Kali Yuga. Yeah. First of all, doing a Mahayagya itself is not easy. And if the yajna is to be done, it has to really follow all the rituals, all the processes, all the demigods, all the devatas have to be offered, the ahutis and all that, right? And there is a specific process for it. In fact, if you remember, when all the Rishi Munis gathered do you remember the place where the Srimad Bhagavatam is being recited by Shonak Muni? Yeah, do you remember that? Nemi Saranya, yeah? If you remember. So at Nemi Saranya, all the Rishi Munis gathered, and they gathered there to do this Mahayagya. But then they also realized that, to do the yagya, you have to really follow the right rituals and processes and all that. Yeah. So then they asked Rishi to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, because Shonak Muni happened to be present when the Bhagavatam was being recited by Sukhdevji Maharaj to Parikshitji Maharaj. Yeah. Remember? So Maharaj Parikshit, Sukhdevji was reciting, and that time the Shonak Muni was present. So all the Rishi Munis request him to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam. So basically the point is, in the Kali Yuga, it's best to do the Kirtan, and that's why we start with the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And actually it says one should invite people and chant Hare Krishna. And actually one of that is being done by Ajay Prabhu. So Ajay is organizing this Saturday. So Sachin and Rinaji, you are in Raleigh area. If possible, do join. I think we'll send the address and that Ajay on that Hare Krishna group. So one should invite people, chant Hare Krishna and distribute prasad, of course. And this yajna, what is being mentioned, because this is about Hare Krishna and everything is from Hare Krishna. If Lord Krishna is satisfied, then all the devatas are automatically satisfied, is what is being mentioned. It says here, but in this age, the performance of sacrifice has been simplified. One can chant Hare Krishna, and by pleasing Krishna, one can satisfy all the demigods automatically. Yeah, so very nicely mentioned that. And this ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 4th canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Brahma Satisfies Lord Shiva. Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai.
So it's nice. So we completed chapter 6, where Lord Brahma requests Lord Shiva to pardon everyone, get their lives back, and lead the sacrifice, the Mahayagya, to be performed, right? Because it was stopped in between. And so now we'll read the chapter 7, where we will see the sacrifice performed by Daksh. So again, how Daksh completes the Mahayagya is what we are going to read. So I think we have time, so we'll continue to read right now. Yeah. Rinaji?
Yeah. Maitreya Uvacha Itya Jananuniten Bhaven Paritusyata Abhyadhaya Mahabahyo Prahasya Shriyatamiti. The sage Maitreya said, O mighty armed Vidur, Lord Shiva, being thus specified by the words of Lord Brahma, spoke as follows in answer to Lord Brahma's request. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So of course, and as we know, Maitreya Muni is answering to Mahatma Vidur, because Mahatma Vidur wanted to know about Mother Sati. Remember the question which Mahatma Vidur asked, like, why did Mother Sati, being this Janani, Prakriti Janani, gave up her body of Sati? And in answer to that, Maitreya Muni has been reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam story to Mahatma Vidur. Yeah. So Maitreya Muni is continue to recite this to Mahatma Vidur, and is saying that Lord Shiva, being pacified by the words of Lord Brahma, started answering to Lord Brahma. Yeah. So now we'll read what Mahadev is saying. So Sachin.
Mahadeva Uvacha Nagam Prajesha Balanam Varnayeya Nanu Chintaye Deva Maya Bhi Bhutanam Dandas Tatra Dhruto Maya. Lord Shiva said, my dear father Brahma, I do not mind the offenses created by the demigods, Because these demigods are childish and less intelligent, I do not take a serious view of their offenses, and I have punished them only in order to right them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what Lord Shiva is saying that he is not really angry. He has just punished them in order to right them. It's like a father gives punishment to the son so that they don't repeat the mistake. Yeah. Danda istrata dhrito maya is what Lord Shiva is saying. And actually, it's a nice purport to read. Karun?
There are two types of punishment. One is that which a conqueror imposes on an enemy, and the other is like that his father imposes on his son. There's a gulf of difference between these two kinds of punishment. Lord Shiva is by nature a Vaishnava, a great devotee, and his name in this connection is Ashutosha. He is always satisfied, and therefore he did not become angry as if he were an enemy. He is not inimical to any living entity. Rather, he always wishes the welfare of all. Whenever he chastises a person, it's just like a punishment of his son. Lord Shiva is like a father because he never takes seriously any offense by any living entity, especially the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that's Mahadev Ashutosh. Huh? Ajay?
Sure. Prajapatir dig shishno bhavatva jamukham shirah mitrasya chaksheshet bhagam swam bahisho bhaga. Lord Shiva continued, since the head of Daksh has already been burnt to ashes, he will have the head of a goat. The demigods known as Bhag will be able to see his share of sacrifice through the eyes of Mitra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Lord Shiva is saying what's going to happen now. Prajapati Daksh has already lost his head, so he will get the head of a god. Yeah. And similarly, other Devatas and Rishimuni will get back in different manners, is what is being mentioned here. Sachin?
Jamanasya dadabhirja shatu pishtabhuk devah prakruta sarvanga ye maya uchcheshanam dadu. The demigod Pusa will be able to chew only through the teeth of his disciples, and if alone, he will have to satisfy himself by eating dough made from chickpea flour. But the demigods who have agreed to give me my share of the sacrifice will cover from all their injuries. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Lord Shiva is telling Lord Brahma how everything is going to work out. Tarun?
Bahubhayam Ashwino Pusno Hastabhya Kuta Bhavaha Bhava Bhavantadvar Yavash Shante Bhasyatasham Shru Bhurga Bhavet. Those who have had their arms cut off will have to work with the arms of Ashwin Kumara, and those whose hands were cut off will have to do their work with the hands of Pusa. The priests will also have to act in that manner. As for Bhrigu, he'll have the beard from the goat's head. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Actually, it's a nice purport. So let's take you and read this. Rinaji?
Yes, yeah. Bhrigu Muni, a great supporter of Daksh, was awarded the beard of the goat's head, which was substituted for the head of Daksh. It appears from the exchange of Daksha's head that the modern scientific theory that the brain substance is the cause of all intelligent work is not valid. The brain substance of Daksh and that of a goat are different. But Daksh still acted like himself, even though his head was replaced by that of a goat. The conclusion is that it is the particular consciousness of an individual soul which acts. The brain substance is only an instrument which has nothing to do with the real intelligence. The real intelligence, mind, and consciousness are part of the particular individual soul. It will be found in the verses ahead that after Daksha's head was replaced by the goat's head, he was as intelligent as he had previously been. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so very interestingly, like how the brain is functioning, is it because of the consciousness or the actually physical brain in human's mind, right? And because it's being mentioned that Prajapati Daksh could function exactly as himself, even after his head was replaced by a goat's head. Yeah. So, Sachin?
He prayed very nicely to satisfy Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, which is not possible for a goat to do. Therefore, it is definitely concluded that the brain substance is not the center of intelligence. It is the consciousness of a particular soul that works intelligently. The whole movement of Krishna consciousness is to purify the consciousness. Excuse me. It doesn't matter what kind of brain one has, because if he simply transfers his consciousness from matter to Krishna, his life becomes successful. It is confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness achieves the highest perfection of life, regardless of whatever abominable condition of life he may have fallen into. Specifically, anyone in Krishna consciousness goes back to Godhead, back to the home, on leaving his present material body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, the bottom line is Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of human life. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Rasiksham Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, nice to see you. पढ़ेंगे?
मैत्रेय उवाच तदा सर्वाणि भूतानि श्रुत्वा मुष्टुमोदितं परितुष्टविशात साधु साधित्वा यथा ब्रुवन्. The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidur, all the person were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva. Who is the best among the benedictors?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So who is the best among the benedictors? Of course, we all know Lord Shiva is the best benedictors, right? As you always see. Yeah. Ajay?
Sure. Tato mead once mamat shunasira saharshibhe bhuyast vejanam samidvadhedharu yayu. Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus, the demigods, accompanied by the sages Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is how the Mahayagya again starts. So we are going to pause here because this week we are only doing 40 minutes. Next week we'll again start with, I think, our 50 minutes. Yeah. So we only have 2 minutes. So we'll continue to hear the Shiv Mahima. And we'll see you tomorrow at 10 again. Yeah?
Yeah.
वरद परमोच्चैरपि सति मधश्चक्रे बाणः परिजन विधेयस्त्रिभुवन न तच्चित्रं तस्मिन् वरिवसितरी त्वच्चरणयोर्न कस्याप्युन्नत्यै भवति शिरसस्त्वय्यवनति क्षयचकित देवासुरकृपा विधेयस्यासीद्यस्ति त्रिनयनविषं संवृतवतं सकल्माषः कण्ठे तव न कुरुते श्रियमहो विकारोऽपि शाख्यो भुवनभयभङ्गौ व्यसनिनम् असिद्धार्थानैव क्वचिदपि स देवासुरनरे निवर्तन्ते नित्यं जगति जयिनो यस्य